And joining me now is Wellington Mayor Andy Foster. Good evening. I understand you were down on the site the other day. What was your job down there?
Yeah, look, I knew there was a community gathering there in the afternoon, and I popped along there after I'd been to another event, so it was right at the tail end of it, just to see who was there, what's going on. And
you gave them a helping hand putting up their tents?
Yeah, look, got there and they had a tent up, and anybody who's been tramping a camper goes, hang on, all right, that's not quite right. So there was a tent pole broken, and we managed to extract it and fix it.
So what other help can you give them? Are you going to help them with toilets? Have they got facilities down there?
Look, no, I haven't been asked for anything, and I wouldn't be proposing to get involved in that.
Okay, but you do support them. Why do you support them?
Well, this thing has had a very long gestation, and it's a pretty sad gestation in terms of the decisions that have been made. So, first of all, by councils to exclude the public from having an effective say in the future of the land. We threw the district plan under the bus. This is going back 5 years. So the resource consent became a very limited process. So there are obviously concerns that people have around issues around like road safety, and then of course there were issues within the Taranaki iwi about the sale when there were resolutions passed by the AGM of the Port Nicholson Block Settlement Trust to say don't sell, and they went ahead and sold.
So you're concerned.
There's a lot of concerns.
You're concerned about process, and just on the subject of process, don't you normally need a permit to protest on council land, and do these protesters have a permit to be there?
Good question. I don't know the answer to that.
Haven't you checked it out?
No.
Even though you're down there helping them put up their tent?
Fixing a tent pole.
Okay, so the council voted for, effectively, to allow the development to go ahead. That's democracy, isn't it? So why aren't you supporting the decision of the council that you are part of?
Yeah, look, there was three things, at least three hurdles the process that the development had to get through. First one of them was our agreement to sell and lease, so we've done that. The second one's the judicial review, which Enterprise Miramar have brought in front of the High Court, which was heard last week, and I guess we'll hear what the outcome of that is, I would imagine, early next year. And then there's the Mau Whenua case, which is about against the sale of their own land, which will be heard in March next year. So there's three things to go through.
But the reality is that until the courts rule on those matters, the status quo is that Ian Castles has a right to develop that land. I'm just wondering, can you remind me how much did Peter Jackson throw into your mayoral campaign?
I don't think it's particularly relevant.
It is, isn't it? Because he objects to this development, and I'm just wondering, what was the figure again?
Yeah, look, he supported me, I'd say he and Fran supported me on the basis that I've been consistent about Shelly Bay for several years before that.
What's the number? Just clarify the number again for me, please.
They shared that concern. It's in all the records.
Okay, so you must know it off the top of your head. What's the problem with just telling me again?
So you know it as well.
What's the number?
30,000.
Okay, so is that donation to your campaign part of supporting his position now?
No.
Really?
No.
Doesn't sway your actions at all?
Not for a second. They supported me because of my pre-existing position.
So this is an issue, really. I suppose it's about property rights, isn't it? So if a councillor helped a protester set up a tent and move on to your property in Karori to protest over something, would you be fine with that?
I wouldn't be particularly thrilled by it at all.
Then why are you helping these protesters move on to the site to protest over property rights?
As I said, I didn't. All that was there is, hey, tent's broken, can you fix the pole? Yeah, fix the pole. Easy.
Right, so you were helping them and you were down there supporting them.
I just took the initiative to say that looks broken, and I fix it.
How do you think this is going to work in the future? If it's necessary to trespass these people or to evict them from the site there, how will that work, and what will your involvement be?
That will go through whatever the process is if that happens.
And what do you mean, whatever the process is?
Well, I mean, there are processes to go through for that, and I'm not particularly familiar with those.
So would you have any say in that kind of decision? And are you able to make that? Are you able to make that kind of decision without taking sides?
Look, I don't know whether we would have any role as elected members in that at all, if that comes to pass.
Right, so you haven't checked that out?
At the moment, no. At the moment, the process we're going through is that officers have been delegated to go through the sale and lease process, and that's what they'll be doing.
Do you not think that it is appropriate for the courts to decide the matter? You've raised the issue that this is before the courts. So have you, jumped the gun in supporting this action before the courts have even come to a conclusion?
Yeah, no, look, I think, and I would have preferred to do things around the other way, which is that before we did our sale and lease, we had some certainty around both the resource consent and the Mau Whenua case. That's not the way it's panned out. But we have got what we call some off-ramps in there, so that if either of those cases are successful, then the council has the right to be able to take the land back, if it's been transacted by that stage, which I understand is going to take a little while to do.
But you'll accept the decision of the court either way?
Absolutely.
Appreciate your time this evening. That's the Wellington Mayor Andy Foster there.